Arthur, I don't care what Axis aircraft you're chosen, nothing will come close to this aircraft behind me. This is the pinnacle of German piston engineering in World War II. This is the Fokke Wulf 190D, long nose, or Dora as it was more colloquially known. This aircraft is absolutely amazing, and there is nothing in the Axis armoury that will come even close to this aircraft. Let me tell you the story about this aircraft and let you all make the judgment whether mine or Arthur's is the best Axis fighter ever. Back in the 1930s, the Germans, the Luftwaffe, decided that they needed a new air superiority fighter. They tasked Kurt Tank, the German designer, to come up with a unique design that could be a multi-rolled aircraft, not only good at air superiority and dogfighting, but also great in the support of ground troops. Kurt Tank came up with the amazing idea of the Fokke Wulf 190. The original 190, similar to the ones behind us here, were powered by a BMW engine, which made it faster, went farther, and it went higher than the ME-109. But between them, they both formed the backbone of the Luftwaffe's air superiority force. Behind me is the Fokke Wulf 190D, or Dora, also known as the long nose variant, and it got that moniker from the fact that obviously it has a long nose. The long nose houses a Junkers-Humo inverted V12 engine, which produced 2,000 horsepower, almost double that of its BMW earlier counterparts. The massive engine behind me meant that this aircraft had absolutely oodles of power. It was hugely overpowered. At 36,000 feet, this thing could cruise along at about 440 miles an hour. It could climb at 3,000 feet a minute, all the way up to just shy of its service ceiling at about 39,500 feet. There is no aircraft, including the Spitfire or the Hurricane, that could even come close to those statistics. Having such a huge engine at the front of this aircraft, the Junkers-Humo V12 engine was almost double the weight of that of its BMW predecessors, caused some massive handling difficulties for the pilots. On takeoff, the torque produced by the engine was described as almost uncontrollable on the ground, and when they came into land, there were some instances where if they applied the brakes heavily, the aircraft tipped forward and flipped over. Obviously, these are not sustainable. However, during war, needs must. So how did they solve these problems? Well, actually, really simply, what they did was they just added an extra portion here to the back of the tail, added some counterweights in there, stopped it tipping over on landing, and that extra length gave the rudder more of a turning moment, so on takeoff, it was entirely controllable. Simple, yet effective. The Fokke Wulf 190D, the Dora, had a unique feature, which was an entirely pressurised cockpit. This allowed the pilot to operate in relative comfort for long periods, allowing this aircraft to cruise up near its cruise ceiling of 39,500 feet. This would allow it to cruise above the Allied bombers and attack the Allied bombers from above. There is no other aircraft of this era that could even get anywhere close that type of altitude with a piston engine. Arthur, there is no Axis fighter that even comes close to this aircraft. I would even go as far to say that this aircraft would surpass the majority of the Allied fighters during World War II. It was only the later marks of Spitfire that could get anywhere near the turning performance, speed and altitude of this aircraft. Sadly though, for the Luftwaffe, it came into the war in 1944, in November of 1944, and was too late to make any impact on the outcome of the war. However, this aircraft, in my opinion, is the best Axis fighter that was ever built. I would like to finish by thanking the Polan collection here at the Flying Heritage Museum in Seattle for allowing us to film this amazing looking aircraft. This aircraft is actually airworthy and flies regularly during the year. It is undoubtedly one of the most amazing piston aircraft ever built, and for me, definitely the most beautiful aircraft of World War II. It may even pipped me for the Spitfire, which I thought was beautiful, but this is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Arthur, as they say in Germany, viel Glück, mein Freund. I think you'll need to go a long way to find something that will be better than the Fokke Wulf 190.